Live from Carbro, it's the Chris or Jenny Show, featuring the great DJ Simon. And starring soccer star Alex Kimball. On WCOM LP, Chapel Hill and Carbro. Thank you very much.
Listen, this is Maggie. Alex played soccer for Rainbow League, then McDougle, then Chapel Hill High, then the Tar Heels, and then pro. What do you think about that career?
Well, the first four are starting to sound awfully a lot like me. So I've heard she'd play for the Peruvian National Team.
She did play for the national team.
Maybe you should ask her if she's an American citizen or a Peruvian citizen, or maybe both.
Okay, I'll ask her. What else?
Ask her what some strategies Anson Dorrance used.
Oh, that's a good question. She loves the Mustang, like a lot of pride in the McDougle Mustang. Don't you think that's cool?
Yeah, that's where I'm going in just 2 years!
Woo! I love it. All right, here we go.
Oh, my name is Chuck Stewart. I'm a canny gunman and a roving young fella I've been. So easy and free when you drink, and when me I'm a man you don't meet every day. I have acres of land, I have men at command, I have always a shilling to spare. So be easy and free when you drink, and when me, I'm a man you don't meet every day. So come fill up your glasses of brandy and wine, whatever it costs I will pay. So be easy and free when you drink, and when me I'm a man you don't meet every day.
Good evening, friends.
Good evening, frenemies and enemies and friendos and so forth.
Deej, you are not a fan of the opening song? Is that what you're suggesting?
It's not that it's bad, it's just that I'm very tired now and I wasn't before.
Well, let me.
Friday night, man.
It is, yeah. And I'm nocturnal. I get jazzed up by the night.
Well, by the end of this, you'll definitely be more awake.
Okay.
Alex, let me tell you why I chose that song, and then we'll introduce this fantastic guest that we have.
Yeah.
Our guest tonight, Alex Kimball.
Yeah.
Soccer legend that we'll get into.
All right.
She had a playlist of all like female musicians, which I was totally down with. But it's also St. Patrick's Day right around the corner, and I'm Irish. We normally play this crazy wild Irish song to start every show.
Okay.
And so my compromise was that was a Pogue song with their female bassist, Cotta Reardon.
Yeah.
For the all-girl theme, but with St. Patrick's Day around the corner, that's why I chose that.
Okay.
Hey, I'm here for it. My brother's name is Connor because my mom thinks in another life she was Irish. So she named my brother Connor.
Okay.
You know,
I love it.
So I'm here for it.
But now I am realizing that was incredibly slow for Friday night at 9 o'clock, so sorry about that.
DJ, get with it. Come on.
Come on, Deej.
Yeah, there we are.
Tonight, friends, we have Alex Kimball, who is currently the Director of Team Development for the University of North Carolina Women's Soccer Program.
All right.
Perhaps you've heard of them, Deej.
I have. Yeah.
They've won a handful of national championships. Alex, welcome.
Hello.
Yeah.
Alex.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for
Happy to be
coming.
here.
It's good to see you here in the studio. So, yeah, I mean, incredible situation that you're in. You came back to rehab from an injury, is what Anson Dorrance told me.
I have been fighting injury pretty much my whole pro career, which is,
and
you know,
and some of college.
Yeah, a little bit of college. I kind of got through that, not smoothly, but I was able to, fully recover and kind of get back to my old self. But when I got into the pros, you're in a completely different environment.
Oh my goodness.
You are with grown women.
I can't wait to hear something.
They don't care. They're clocking in and they're collecting checks and they don't care about your feelings. So it's a completely different environment. But yeah, Chapel Hill is always home. Obviously, we have unlimited resources from the university. So good people, good place to train and rehab a little. So came back, was really substituting for Heather O'Reilly. Because she was out trying to still fill her bucket of playing after 2 kids, which I don't think my body could ever do. But hey, more power to her. She's awesome. When Heather got back, I was like, all right, see you later, guys. Love you. I'll come back in a couple more months. And Anson was like, the girls came up to us and they want you to stay. And I was like, all right. I mean, I guess, why not? If this is where the universe is bringing me back home, why fight it? And so now I am here.
Chapel Hill has a way of bringing people back, doesn't it?
Does. It kind of ropes you in. Yeah.
And how fantastic is that? And by the way, Heather O'Reilly, yet another one of those amazing names in women's soccer that we just happen to have in this town. Deej, it's incredible. So roughly when was that?
So I got back from representing Peru in July. And literally, I was in the Atlanta airport, and Anson goes, give me a call when you get us sick. So usually in my language, because I was kind of a troublemaker through college, was either you're in deep hot water right now or something really good is going to happen. Right. So I was a little nervous, but I gave him a call back and he was like, Heather, wants to continue to play. She's going to, I think it was Scotland, and she's going to go help them qualify. Will you help us with preseason? And I'm like, I was planning on hanging out for a little bit anyways and being around the girls and being around the team and kind of catching vibes. So that was August, September. I think Heather came back end of September, and then I got hired in October.
Wow.
Of 22. So
recently, yep.
Alex, your entire career fascinates me. I want to talk about the whole thing.
It's just getting started.
That's exactly right. Her resume already is better than both of ours, Deej.
Not even
and she's half of my age.
No.
But I don't know. Should we start from the most recent and go back,
or start from the beginning? Little baby Alex.
Little baby.
When did you realize you were? Little A-Kizl, you said?
A-Kizl.
When did you realize?
AK-47.
Yeah.
Well, Deej, I think it started in the Rainbow League.
Yeah, Rainbow Soccer?
Yeah.
I'm an alum.
Yeah. Aren't we all, honestly?
I'm a coach right now.
Are you? Yeah. I'm trying to go find and hire coaches right now. It all comes full circle. But, yeah, so my mom's job uprooted from Salt Lake City, Utah. They were working in a research department for the University of Utah, and they got uprooted to the University of North Carolina.
That's why you moved here when you were 6 years old.
Yes. So, and another fun fact, my mom, in Hispanic culture, women aren't seen to play sports, and that's just kind of the era of, what she grew up in. So she has brothers, she has sisters, and, she just always loved soccer so much. And my grandparents never put her in competitive soccer, but once she got admitted into the University of Utah, she really wanted to play. Yeah. So she worked her tail off, ended up walking on to the University of Utah and playing soccer. In the middle of her first season, she is then given the news that she has a baby on the way.
Which is also probably...
And it was me.
Well,
it was me. I was a pleasant surprise.
That's probably her other lifelong goal is to have a wonderful child. So
so I'm like, was it worth it? And some days her answer is yes, and some days her answer is no. No, my mom was super influential just in the game in general. She was even my coach at Rainbow. But so it really started here in Chapel Hill, and from Rainbow Soccer, it was Chapel Hill United, and then it was Triangle United, and I was a ball girl in that stadium, and I would watch Heather O'Reilly play, and she was my camp counselor, and now she's like my bro.
Wow.
Now she's my bro, that's like my right-hand lady. We were just talking on the phone last night, just, chatting it up, and I'm like, this is so weird, like Heather O'Reilly, we're friends.
Yeah.
I had a really special coach in Cindy Parlow.
Oh my goodness. The name dropping that we're going to do tonight.
So-
I got like 5 more names. Oh my God.
Yeah, so CP, she caught me kind of in that middle school era. Middle school for girls is really weird, guys. You know, like life is freaking weird. Girls are mean. Your body's changing. Like you really
craziness.
have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And so I got CP, and CP, you know, my parents were in the middle of, you know, separating, about to, you know, finalize the divorce. So
That sucks.
it was just kind of a weird moment for me.
That
and
adds to the weirdness that already is middle school.
Right, exactly. And so, you know, my mom was a single mom, had no family or help out here. She was just out here just doing it by herself, which in itself is tough. So, you know, that had its ups and downs. But CP saw me, and I was kind of the type of kid that, like, I had a lot of energy, but I also was just angry sometimes.
Cindy Parlow, is this club soccer or school soccer?
This is club soccer. This is through Triangle United.
Yeah.
So she caught us. She caught me at a good time. You know, me and my mom, we were kind of butting heads during this point of life. And I actually got so burnt out from soccer.
You didn't play your 8th grade year at McDougle.
I did not.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I was really over it. I was like, you know, tired of my social life suffering. Honestly was in love with basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in love with basketball.
Yeah.
But my mom, you know, her being a soccer player saw my potential in soccer and
Right.
drove me in that direction when my heart was really, you know, when I had free time, I was shooting free throws, you know. So we
You don't
kind
want to
of.
let her down.
Yeah,
Some of
exactly,
that's why
exactly. And, you know, I was getting so much high level training in soccer that's kind of, you know, where the doors were just opening. So I quit 8th grade year, ended up playing softball because a couple of my buddies were on the softball team. And I just remember being bent over, looking over to my left, seeing all my soccer friends just running around while I'm just still. Back hurts from being bent over, like I'm pissed. And I'm like, you know, wrong decision, Alex.
Yeah.
So had a meeting with Cindy after that spring season, and she sat me down, looked me in my eyes, and was like, hey, if you choose you want to do this, you could 100% be a Tar Heel. I'm like,
8th grade, 9th
yeah,
grade.
8th grade.
14.
8th grade going
God.
into 9th grade.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
What a thing to hear.
Right. And so, you know, and this kind of, you know, circles back to why I am the way that I am / where I am, you know, in life right now is because CP did that for me. She was such an amazing role model. I mean, girls president of U.S. Soccer now.
Yeah, that's
You can't get any higher than that. You know, she's handling her business.
She's
But anyways,
up there. She's up there. I want to back up a little bit,
Yeah.
Alex. You're the Rainbow League as a youth player.
Yep.
At what age are you like significantly better than everybody else on your team, or at that? Are we talking 6, 7, 8 years old, 9 years old?
No,
Is it just like everybody's pretty good?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. I actually, so before you hit 11v11, you're in a 9v9 environment. You know, back in my day, it was gold and silver and bronze. Right?
Okay.
Those were the levels of the team. And then even before that was challenge soccer, and challenge you have A, B, C.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was put on the B team when I was about 11 years old.
How'd you feel?
I was pissed.
We'll
was
put
like-
Alex on the B team.
I was like, whatever, you know, I'll score all the goals. I'll do whatever they need me to do. And I did that. But, you know, like I said, I was a high energy kid. I wasn't an easy kid to coach. Like now that I'm coaching, I see the kid who's like super annoying, and I was like, yeah, that was me.
Nice.
So
you can relate.
yeah, I can relate totally. And so, no, I wasn't always the best. I wasn't always the biggest. I wasn't the most skilled. I wasn't the strongest in the area. I was kind of a late bloomer in that I hit my growth spurt in high school.
Physically a late
Physically.
bloomer.
What are you about,
Physically.
5'7"?
Yeah.
Oh my
5'7", 5'8", like with a good pair of shoes on.
All right.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
With cleats.
You're hitting all my. So let me just tell you my world right now and
Okay.
why I'm so interested in you.
Yeah.
So right now, as we speak, I've got a 9-year-old daughter who plays in the Rainbow League.
Right.
We're getting ready to start U12, and the big discussion in my house is stay in rec, and
Right.
continue with the Rainbow League, or switch to Triangle United.
It's a big decision.
On one shoulder, I got people telling me, You're late. She should have been there since she was 8. Or
Right.
whatever. The other shoulder, I got people telling me just keep him in rec forever.
Yeah. Just
Make
keep
sure
her
they're having
happy.
fun.
Yeah.
So I've got that. And also, Alex, I am the assistant coach of the McDougle Middle School team.
That's so crazy. Go Mustangs, baby.
Go Mustangs!
Go Mustangs.
We're 2-0. The girls play in the spring for some reason.
Yeah.
And the boys play in the fall.
Yeah.
We just had our second game, and we're just so dominant. That was one of my questions. Were the Mustangs as dominant back then as they are now?
I think so. I had a really good group, a really good age group, a good class of like my year of like talented players. We actually won in 2014. We won the state championship over at Chapel Hill High School.
Chapel Hill High. That was another
for the first time ever. So I had a really good class. So I think those girls held it down, and we were very, very good in soccer. I think we won the OPAC.
Yeah,
I think we won
OPAC.
OPAC multiple times. Basketball, we ran into some issues, against Colbreth or something. But
Colbreth, that's the evil.
Colbreth,
That's our
man.
battle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Smith.
yeah,
It's a three-way battle.
Smith wasn't as good back then. But they had their good games and their bad games. But Colbreth was definitely the one to beat back in my day.
So, Alex, let's just not skip over that. So she didn't just help Chapel Hill High School win the first ever women's soccer championship. She was the player of the year.
Wow.
That year, 2014. Deej, 23 goals, 18 assists, if I got it right. Does that sound about right?
I haven't heard it in a while, but I don't doubt your research skills.
That's like 2 goals a game. That's like a goal and a half a game. That's incredible.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that growth spurt, guys, I'm telling you.
That was part of it.
It
That
kicked
helped.
in.
What I've noticed watching middle school girls play is like I can see right now there's 2 or 3 of them that
They got a little knack for it.
there could be. I don't want to go to the level of they could be a Tar Heel, but there's a couple girls right
got some
now
talent,
that I
yeah.
could say I got a 6th grader right now,
Right.
That I could say, man, that if I was going to bet on a kid to play college soccer,
something different.
it would be her.
Right. It's hard because kids bloom at different times.
That's true too.
We even ran into the issue where, before they made those NCAA rules, they're committing kids in 8th grade. And I wasn't even a third of the player, I needed to be in 8th
Right.
grade. I'm glad those rules were implemented because it forces kids and colleges to kind of delay that process. And to kind of go back to you and your, daughter, Chris, things are happening earlier, like the developmental side of skill sets are happening earlier.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean decisions are happening earlier,
Yeah.
but things are getting more specialized, right? So where I was an athlete and I could do cross country and I could do soccer and I could do swimming and I could do all these things, you can't do that anymore.
It's
Just
more
pick one.
specialized.
yeah, just
now.
literally from a time constraint. So that's a tough battle a lot of parents are in, and us at Carolina, we love dual sport athletes. I mean, we have almost every rotation of 4 years, we have a girl who plays lacrosse and soccer.
Anson talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
to play softball.
It's funny you mention that because Shelly, I'm going to give Shelly a shout out. She is kind of our secretary of our building. She was searching deathly hard for someone to join her slow pitch softball team. And I'm like, I'm in, Shell. I just need a glove. But, I have a little bit of a skill set. So, why not, entertain myself on Saturdays and go play.
Well, Alex, the reason we invited you here today,
It's not the reason.
a reason
We met on a softball team.
Okay.
he's the legendary manager of a softball team.
That's a big word.
All right.
I probably have played more games in the Carborough Parks and Rec.
I'm trying to stay closer. Shelly's trying to take me to Cary.
No. I got you in Carborough, girl.
Tuesday,
Yeah,
Thursday
keep me
in
here,
Carborough.
guys. Keep
All
me
right,
here.
we'll talk
Tuesday,
after.
Thursdays?
Yep.
Period.
And if she needs off for soccer, no problem.
Oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
We'll give you just show up for the
Position
playoffs.
I can play anywhere.
Anything.
Dude, you're putting her,
versatile.
shortstop, third, first, any outfield spot.
Okay.
I'm pretty solid. I'm a little rusty right now, but one of my friends, she actually plays on the U.S. softball team. She's sending me a glove,
Ooh.
so I'm hoping whatever power she has just transfers through the glove, and I'm a baller.
It will. It will.
This year, they allowed the 6th graders to play
Cool.
middle school.
That's awesome.
It's awesome in some respects.
Okay.
Others, it's difficult. Yes, it's absolutely awesome. The hard part, Alex, is I had help with the tryouts. For the boys in the fall, it was 100 boys. Wow. For the girls, it was 60. And to get from those numbers down to 22
It's tough.
in 4 days, it
Yeah.
was very difficult.
I can imagine. Wow.
But the talent was just unbelievable, and we are really good. I mean, I'm just a very small part of it.
No, I'm excited. I'm going to come see you guys next week.
You need to come see us.
Yeah,
You need to come see
I'm
us.
coming. I'm coming in for sure.
Let's hit them with a little. What do you think, Deej? A little scissor?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Let's do that.
I'm still a fan even though it's salty. Hate to see you with some other, but know you happy. Hate to see you happy if I'm not the one driving. I'm so mature, I'm so mature, I'm so mature. It got me a therapist to tell me there's other men I ain't doing one, and I just want you. If I can't have you, no one should. I might kill my ex. Not the best idea. His new girlfriend's next. How I get here. I might kill my ex. I still love him though. Rather be in jail than alone. I get the sense that it's a lost cause. I get the sense that you might really love her. This text gon' be evidence. This text is evidence. I try to ration with you. No murder's a crime of passion, but damn, you was out of reach. You was at the farmer's market with your perfect peach. Now I'm in the basement, planning on my patient. Now you laying face down, got me singing over a beat. I'm so mature, I'm so mature, I'm so mature. I got me a therapist to tell me there's other men I know more than I just want you. If I can't have you, no one will. I might kill my ex, not the best idea. His new girlfriend's next. How'd I get here? I might kill my ex. I still love him though. Rather be in jail than alone. I did it all for love. I did it all on no drugs. I did all of this sober. I did it all for us. I did it all for love. I did all of this on no drugs. I did all of this sober. Don't you know I did it all for us? I just killed my ex. Not the best idea. Killed his girlfriend next. How'd I get here? I just killed my ex. I still love him though. Rather be in hell than alone.
Did you hear about the murder?
What murder?
The Mardi Gras murder.
What?
Let me get you up to speed.
Please.
Senator Kristoff is about to announce a run for president at the Mardi Gras ball.
What?
But before an announcement can be made, the senator is murdered.
Dun, dun, dun.
Who would want to kill Senator Kristoff? Was it you?
Not me.
No? It was Chris then. No, we don't know who it was. Directed by Renee Nix. It's a fundraiser for your community radio station.
What community radio station?
WCOMLP Chapel Hill and Carborough. All donations are tax deductible. This is on Saturday, April 22nd from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
That sounds expensive, Deej.
At the Carborough Century Center Hall, which is at 100 North Greensboro Street. For tickets, go to Eventbrite. And this is a really long URL. I won't read the whole thing.
Well, just send her to WCOMFM.org.
Yeah, that'll work too. Yeah, so if you like murder...
Is there any catering?
And tax deductions.
And hate paying full taxes.
That could be the name of the show, Murder and Tax Deductions.
Yeah. Catering by Rougarou Imbibe.
I heard that place was awesome.
I probably butchered that. I apologize. Tickets are $15, but it's tax deductible.
All right, this is officially the worst commercial we've ever done. Can we please get back to Alex?
All right, please.
Look, here's the picture I posted of you on Facebook.
Let's see it. I remember that game.
So 47 is not is an interesting jersey number. Why did you pick that number?
When I was little, me, my mom, and my brother actually lived in an apartment complex right up the road called Autumn Woods.
Right.
There just happened to be two Tar Heels living at the apartment complex, Tobin Heath and Jessica Maxwell.
Tobin Heath?
I've heard of Tobin Heath.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
He's name dropped
she's
so
a
many
baller.
awesome players.
I wish Tobin would have offered to babysit me, but it was actually her roommate, Jessica Maxwell,
Tobin?
yeah, Tobin, come on, man. But it was her roommate who offered to babysit me and my brother, and So Jessica Maxwell wore 24. She gave me one of her practice Carolina jerseys. So I wore 24 growing up just because, it was pretty sentimental to me.
That's killer.
Yeah. Got into Carolina freshman year, and my 24 was taken by Paige Nielsen herself. Paige, dude, you're cramping my style.
Come on, Paige.
Anyway, so contemplating like, frick, I have no idea what number I want to be. And then Chris Ducar was like, why not 47? And I was like, 47? He's like, yeah, you could be AK-47.
No brainer.
Boom.
Name, image, and likeness.
I know. Too bad it didn't
Alex,
come around.
back up a little bit. You had a storied career for the Tar Heels after winning a state championship for Chapel Hill High School. Senior year, 23 goals, 18 assists. Okay. Take us a little bit through the recruiting process. Like, what other colleges expressed interest in you to play for their university?
Yeah, so, again, you're always going to find me coming back to the Tar Heels. One of my very first offers was from VCU, and the head coach at the time was Tiffany Roberts.
Yeah.
Tiffany Roberts was a Tar Heel. She also played on the 95 World Cup winning team.
Yeah.
And she is actually an assistant coach for the full women's national team right now. She's also, just amazing in everything that she does.
And she was the head coach of Virginia Commonwealth University. That was your first offer?
My first offer. And I was telling my mom, I was like, Mom, she's awesome. She had me sold just by the person that she was and the type of coach that she was. When I told her, I was getting looks from Carolina, she's like, hey, I went there, and she's like, there are pros and there are cons, but she's like, I went through it, and there's nothing bad I have to say, and if that's where you want to go, I will always support you. And me and Tiff have a great relationship. They come play us almost every year, so I see her. But so I actually told my mom, I was like, I need to get the heck out of here. I want to go to the University of Honolulu to get the farthest away from you as possible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So tried it, but when Anson Dorrance calls you, it's kind of hard to say no.
Yeah.
And now here you are a couple years later, not that long ago, working for him.
Yeah. He's a good guy. He's a special man.
So
and
VCU was in the Tar Heels. You went for the Tar Heels.
I was actually super, super close to committing to Wake Forest. I also really like Tony DeLuz. He's an awesome coach, awesome guy.
Another great school.
I was really all about the connection with the coach, because I knew after having someone like Cindy, you need someone who truly believes in you.
Right.
And, I got that from some of those coaches. I was looking at Miami. I was looking at, some more local schools. But once Cindy kind of put it in my heart to be a Tar Heel, that was always my dream. Yeah. Not my reality, especially growing up. I had no idea I could actually be a Tar Heel.
Yeah.
But, once I kind of was hitting that stride within my playing, through Chapel Hill High School, and I had to switch clubs to eventually go to Castle.
Castle was your main club.
Yeah. Well, no. So I won state cup with my Triangle United team when I was 16. At 17, I moved to Castle.
Why?
To get looks. Yeah, just exposure, competition, training, all of it.
Because Castle was a higher level than Triangle United?
Yeah.
And would you say that's probably the case today?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think Triangle United does a really good job at allowing personality to come through, which is why I stayed with them for so long, because I was probably one of the more dominant kids towards my later Triangle United career, not when I was on the B team, but later, I was for sure probably a standout, and I just needed to be pushed. And so I was kind of forced, and me and my mom were sobbing the day we knew it was my last game with them. It was really emotional, because you grow up with those girls, from age 9 to 16, I was with them, so it was a really emotional move for me. But I needed exposure, to play in front of more coaches and get some higher level training. When I got to my Castle team, every girl was committed to a D1 program.
Wow. Already.
Oh
my goodness.
Already.
See, that's interesting to hear this. I just assumed that NCFC and Triangle United were on similar boats, but you're suggesting not quite.
NCFC has kind of grown into this well-oiled machine that they just have so many kids and so many teams that it does kind of get watered down a little bit. And that's where I like Triangle United, because it does kind of keep the local talent a little tight. But the high level, especially with the Courage Academy, they are doing some very good things over there. Obviously I have my own opinions on youth soccer in general, but yeah, you want to hear? Yeah, I mean, like, I think that a lot of culture these days, you know, they're like, we're not worried about winning. Like, we just want to play good soccer. And
Rainbow League does that.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of, I think it might be more of a generational thing of like, you know, how do we house keeping these kids emotionally safe, which I am all for, but at some point, you know, there is a competition,
at some point,
and there is, you know, things at stake for winning and losing. And so when you get a youth kid who, you know, thinks they had a great game, but, you know, they're your starting striker and, you know, they didn't even have one shot on goal, you're like, where's the logic?
Anson talks about this a lot, this whole praising for things that are not praiseworthy.
Right.
I totally agree with that. When you're 6, 7 years old, okay, that's one thing. But when you're 9, 10, 11, middle school, it's got to start mattering. And I'll tell you what, and again, this is all due respect to the Rainbow League, who my daughter plays in. Our game, we have our first game next Saturday.
Right.
Rainbow League may not keep the score, but I promise you the competitive girls keep the score.
For sure.
My daughter can tell you, you know, when she scored a goal, the score us against them for like 2-3 seasons back. So the kids do care about some of them. And so what we tried, like with our team, it's interesting because, again, she's kind of like that whole thing about being a big fish in a small pond or a small...
Exactly.
Like, she's still pretty dominant, but in the rec league.
Right.
And she knows if next season, if she moves up
makes that move
to Triangle or NCFC, that it's like, okay, now do I want to dominate rec or do I want to be among the group in the next level? That's what Maggie's dealing with.
It's a balance. It's a balance. It really is. Yeah, it's tough.
Fast forward a little bit to your very first game as a Tar Heel. What was that like?
Oh, yeah.
What was it like
Take us
stepping on
back.
the field
Take
for
us
the
back.
first time?
Yeah, I think my very first game, like it was actually an exhibition. I actually scored.
Yeah?
Yeah, which was pretty cool.
Tell us about the goal.
Pretty cool as a freshman. I think I got a through ball from Jo Boyles herself. She was a year older than me.
Nice.
Super dominant player, you know, especially at the youth level. Through ball from Jo Boyles. I forget who we were playing, kind of, you know, a lower level D1 team. But I just kind of passed it by the goalie. Anson actually recruited me as a 6. So for you guys who, you know, might not know the numbers,
explain that to the audience.
It's a defensive center midfielder, and the reason he recruited me was because I could head the ball, which a lot of girls can't head the ball, and I could head the ball. I got a big old head. Why not use it? So he recruited me for that position, even though I played forward my whole life, which he likes to do. He likes to convert people into different positions, but put me at the 6 and, you know, quickly realized that, you know, I was no good there. So got thrown back up top, and I actually got kind of thrown all over throughout my career. I played some outside back. I played some winger. I played, you know, I finished my career at the 9, which is striker. So I was kind of pulled everywhere. But yeah, that first game, I scored a goal off of Jo Boyles, and, you know, I had plenty of people telling me, you're never even going to touch the field when you get to Carolina.
Wow. And then you score a goal in your first game.
They're like, you're never going to get time. You might play your junior, senior year.
Wow.
And
did you just get mobbed?
Yeah. I'm kind of that, like, I love when people tell me I can't do something because then I make it my personal mission and vendetta to prove you wrong. You know, that's just kind of how I work, even with my mother.
Was that the greatest goal of your career?
One of my favorite goals. I don't know if it was my greatest, but my first game against Duke, like I said, I played at Castle. I had a coach, his name was Paul Forster, and he's still over there. We're really good friends, and I love Paul. My keeper for club, her name was EJ Proctor. EJ Proctor was the goalkeeper for Duke. She was committed to Duke on my club team.
That's a really good goalkeeper.
You know, we are doing these shooting drills during club, and, you know, EJ's just eating my stuff up, and Paul goes, AK, you're never going to score a goal in 4 years, you know, when you're playing against EJ. And I was like, okay, Paul. Okay. So, you know, it's our first game against Duke. And, you know, like I said, I like to hunt stuff in the sky. So we get a free kick, and it's my block to go in, and, you know, I just see it, and I can jump. That's another one of my things, is my vertical is like, I got some bunnies. So, Katie Bowen floated in a ball. I see EJ coming out, and I was like, I'm going for it. And I just jumped higher than her hand could go and headed it in the back of the net.
Nice.
And all I could think, I was like, screw you, Paul. That was a pretty good goal.
That's your club keeper just a year before or
yeah,
so.
my homie, yeah.
Oh my
goodness. So
goodness.
I was like, and she was pissed.
I love it.
But that was probably my favorite Duke goal. And then another one of my most memorable goals is we were playing Florida State in the ACC final. Mm-hmm. We were down 2-0.
How late in the game?
Struggling second half.
Okay.
The Tar Heels are rarely down 2.
We were struggling, and we're a high press team, and so Florida State's trying to build out of the back, and the play before, their goalkeeper had just went down, like something with her shoulder, so they had to replace goalies. So I was like, she's nervous.
Blood in the water.
She's nervous, and so surely, the first pass they make back to her, I'm just running at her as hard as I could. Girl kicks it right into me, and it ricochets and slowly rolls into the goal. And like, if that isn't like the most AK goal ever, it's just like pure like grit, like determination and hard work. Like, I don't know what it is, but now it's a 2-1 game. And if you know soccer, 2-1 is dangerous because now you have some momentum. We ended up tying it 2-2. I think we ended up losing that game, unfortunately, in like overtime or something. Gassed, but that was probably one of my favorites for sure.
Do you have a favorite game all time? Now, you played in the national championship. Unfortunately, we lost that year.
Yeah, that was
in the
tough.
Final Four 2 years before. Mm-hmm. Your most recent professional time on the field as a pro was with the Peruvian National Team. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was this past summer.
So that's incredible. Mm-hmm. So I'd love to talk about that a little bit. But between going all the way back to all the way now, do you have a favorite just game?
Just game in general. I would probably have to say, I think it was the Elite Eight, my senior season. We were playing UCLA.
2018.
2018.
UCLA is really good at soccer in general.
Very good team.
Yeah.
Very good players. I mean, you have Jess Fleming, you have Haley Mace, you have some really, really talented players. And honestly, like that Elite Eight matchup probably should have been like a final game matchup.
Right. That happens sometimes.
Yeah, we just kind of met them early in the bracket, and I had a really good game. Like, I had a very, very good game. I didn't score, but I was doing all the grindy work, and I was causing problems. And, that year I was actually, my junior year, a freshman comes in, the name of Alessia Russo.
Okay.
One of the best players I've trained with to this day. Mm-hmm. She's English. She plays for Man United. Wow. She's an absolute baller.
That's pretty good.
And she comes in as a freshman, and I'm a junior, and she's class. Like, she's class on the ball. Like, just nasty, has a strike from hell. Like, girl can just score goals.
Right.
So she was actually ahead of me in my senior season, just because she was so, so good. Like, girl lived, breathed. She did football. Mm-hmm. And she was ahead of me senior night. She got hurt, and I remember I was so pissed because, like, I love Les, I really do, and we kind of forever have this bond now. But the UCLA game, definitely one of my favorites. I got fouled in the box, probably should have been a penalty, but we ended up winning in penalty kicks. Super dramatic, super emotional, but that was definitely one of my favorite games.
I love it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've been going through some changes. Been running out of maybe. Boy, I know you're losing patience with me. Sometimes I get fed up with all the games. Sometimes you all just act the same. Maybe I'm the one to blame. That's just how the game goes. When you're feeling alone, everybody got somebody that they mess with on the low. Now I just want you to save me. I just want you to save me. We got options, but I wanna let you know that I decided. I finally realized that all I want is you. All I want is you. treat me like the other girls no more. No more. You see me like another girl. I've been waiting for you to make a move. Yeah. You know that I'm fed up with all the games. You all just act the same. Maybe I'm the one to blame. That's just how the game goes. Just want someone to hold. Everybody needs somebody to be there when they're alone. I just want you to save me. Yeah, just want you to save me. We got options, but I wanna let you know that I decided. I finally realized that all I want is you, baby, you. All I want is you. We got options, but I wanna let you know that I decided. I finally realized that all I want is you, baby, you. All I want is you.
Her, Deej.
It's who?
Just think if her played a concert with she and him.
Ah.
And it would be she and him opening for her. That's a lot.
I get it now.
Alex, a player that my daughter loves and we really like, Murph, and you said she transferred. That's one of the things about Tar Heels. So, okay, you got pretty good playing time your whole career for the Tar Heels. Mm-hmm. It's just as easy to be, don't take this the wrong way, as good as you and maybe get buried because they always have 30 or 40 good players.
100%.
There's got to be some girls that are like, man, this is so awesome that I'm a Tar Heel.
Yeah.
But I could go to UNC Wilmington and be a starter.
And be a superstar.
Talk me through that. You're the director of player development. I mean, this is part of your jam.
You have to look at things in a short-term perspective and a long-term perspective.
Yeah.
When you look at the long-term perspective of your player development, you will get things playing and training with the best that you can't get being the best. When you are the best, you drag everyone up.
That's right.
And then kind of when you are in the middle of the pack, or even you could be the worst, you're getting drug up every day. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a trade-off, because women in particular always struggle with confidence. So that is something big that we battle because, all these players have the skill set, they have the capability. Now you have the confidence and the self-belief within yourself to execute when it's your time. But you have to continue to progress. Mm-hmm. You can't just come in good and think that that's good enough. Right. You have to continue to grow and excel because, Anson and Damon will tell you, hey, I'm recruiting people to replace you. Mm-hmm. That is my job, is to recruit people who are better than you.
This is the big leagues.
Exactly. And so, you have to continue your progression, but in the long-term run, especially because a lot of our girls' dreams are to play for the full national team, they know that they're going to get the best training and they're going to have the best environment here at the University of North Carolina.
Well, the other thing, too, that I noticed is, and I kind of can see both sides of it, Alex. I can see being the 12th best player of the Tar Heels. I honestly can see that mentality of like, man, I'd start at, Appalachian State
anywhere,
or whatever. I do get that. But I don't know. It's
tough. It's tough. There's a trade-off. I do think that there is a healthy point where you should evaluate yourself and say, hey, maybe it is best for me to transfer just for my overall career because I'm not even getting game time at this point. We try to encourage the girls wherever they're at in their career. We just want them to do what's best for them.
Is part of your job trying to talk girls into staying or maybe even to leaving if they're never going to see the field or no?
More of my job is to try to encourage them to tap into the potential that we think they have. Yeah. I have to reassure them that, hey, this is what we saw in you and this is what we think you can do. It's up to you to do it. it. We're going to give you all the tools and the resources possible. Now it's your decision, you know? So that's kind of more of my realm that I work into.
Well, here's the other thing you notice about, like, as far as getting drafted, the average draft year, there's 3 or 4 or 5 Tar Heels in the first couple rounds every year.
Yeah.
And so even though, like, you had an awesome career for the Tar Heels, scored about 9 goals, played all over the field, like you said.
Yeah.
But that probably just being in the mix of the Tar Heels prepares you for the pros probably better than any other program.
For sure. Yeah. Like I said, long term, there are some adjustments that I did realize, you know, going into the pros that was actually tough because the college game is a little different moving into the program with the substitutions, right? So in the pros, you can only, when I was playing, you only had 3 subs.
Now it's 5.
Now it's 5.
Still,
they upped it a little bit. Still tough. But, you know, we do a whole line change. We're subbing basically like 9 girls out, you know, every 15 minutes.
Real quick, that's my favorite part of the Tar Heel game is like you'll be at a Tar Heel game. Sorry to interrupt, but I just love this. It'll be 20 minutes into the game.
Boom.
And UNC scores a goal, and like they're wearing them down. We get a goal, and then you see the whole team go off. Like the whole Tar Heel line go off in a whole nother line, and I love the looks on the other team's face. They're like, "Oh my god,
good night."
We just barely survived this group, and now we got to play this group. So
for sure,
I do love that.
Let's talk about Team Peru.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just walk us through how you joined the team. What was it like? What are some key differences?
So different. So my mom is Peruvian. I'm half Peruvian.
Are you a dual citizen?
Yeah, dual citizenship now. You know, it wasn't always a thing, but kind of made it a thing. But so after I graduated, I had been wanting to go to Peru. You know, my grandpa, he, you know, lives, dies, breathes Peru. Like he loves his country. He's
That's
very,
awesome.
very, you know,
Proud.
adamant. Yep, super proud man.
Awesome.
Anyway, so once I graduated, it actually freed up some time. I was able to go down there with my family. You know, some people were reaching out. They're like, hey, you know, we saw Alex is half Peruvian. Can she come train with us? So went into a camp. You know, I was still kind of iffy about it. You know, I was just exposed to a really high level of soccer where in Peru, we're borderline a third world country, you know, when it comes especially to women's soccer. You know, it just wasn't developed. So I was kind of like turned off by the environment that I was introduced to just because I'm kind of a spoiled brat here. So I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. So when I got back, Peru, I was focused on my NWSL team because, you know, like Chris said, I was drafted, luckily 4th round, total surprise. I had trained with them that summer, and Laura Harvey had kind of seen me in training because I'm from Utah.
By the Utah Royals.
Utah Royals, yes. They are coming back this next season.
And you're from Utah.
From Utah, yep. Salt Lake City, born in Salt Lake City, raised in Chapel Hill.
So that helped you a little bit.
Yeah, it helped me because I actually was really missing my family because you usually stay here, do classes, and you work out all summer. That's basically what it is as a student athlete. So I was begged Anson, I'm like, Anson, like, I need an internship. I want to do it in Utah, and I want to go see my family. So I would wake up, go do my internship. I would go to training, change in the training room, go back to my internship, and just try to make it all work. But yeah, so I got a little bit of exposure that summer, which led to me being drafted. So when I got back from Peru, I was really focused on just trying to like make my mark in the pros, right? So I was really super focused. And Peru wanted me to do the Pan American Games because the Pan American Games were being held in Lima, Peru.
Wow.
I turned them down, which mistake, but turned them down because I was so focused on trying to make the final cut for. I was eventually signed, but you know, I didn't want to lose my rhythm with the team.
Yeah, tough call.
So that year was also, I think it was a World Cup year. So we were losing a lot of our star players.
Yeah.
One of them being Kristen Press. And so CP, she was... Her, Kelly O'Hara, and Becky Sauerbrunn, they were all...
On the Royals.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, ballers.
Some of the best players in U.S. women's soccer. I don't want to say history, but they're like in the All-Pro.
Yeah, love all 3 of them.
Kristen Press is tremendous.
Becky was tough on me. Yeah, Becky was tough on me.
So these are the girls you join when you get drafted.
Yeah. So it was really cool, and I have to give Amy Rodriguez a shout out. She took me under her wing, and you know, she was awesome in that environment. But so they were leaving. And I'm like, you know, I had like 5 forwards ahead of me at the time. And I'm like, CP's leaving. I'm like, this opens up some time. I got to get into it. And I had this really bad pain in my left foot that I was like, I could go have someone look at it. and they're probably going to tell me something because my relationship with pain is a little too good. But I was like, they could probably look at it, tell me something I don't want to hear, or I could just, while CP's gone, try to like make my mark.
Yeah.
I really was in so much pain, but I tried to just really grind it out. Ended up signing, and then CP got back, and I was like, okay, now that she's back, you know, she's gonna have all her time back because she's Kristen Press.
She gets her.
And so I finally got an MRI on my foot because they told me it was a bone bruise forever, not a freaking bone bruise. Got my MRI. I tore my plantar fascia.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
You played through that.
Played through it.
To try to gain.
Yeah. I mean, I was in a boot. I had ice on my foot after every training. It was terrible.
Man.
So anyway, fast forward to with the Royals, and then 2020 hits. 2020 was weird.
I remember.
Fast forward to that, and I got invited to camp with Racing Louisville in 2021. I was finally like feeling back to myself after my plantar fascia injury. That took forever because you walk on your foot, you know, so like it was a constant tearing motion, which sucked. It was just the most naggy, lingering, weird injury I've ever experienced. So finally was getting back to myself, was with Racing Louisville, was training really well, was feeling really good. We're in a scrimmage against Vanderbilt right in preseason, about to start the season. Tear my ACL. Tear my ACL.
So you finally get yourself back.
Right after my foot, boom, tear my ACL.
What did you say earlier? Health is wealth.
Health is wealth, man. And I don't have much of it right now.
AK-47, I'm going to hit you with a hardball.
Let's hear it.
Because we do got to leave pretty soon.
Okay.
You've been through some injuries.
Yeah.
You now have this incredible resume and an incredible history, but you're still a young lady. So I'm just going to ask you, let's just say a couple months from now, I don't know, the courage calls, a semi-pro or a pro team or the national team of either country calls. Would you, do you see a return to playing in your future, or are you all about coaching at this point? I'm not.
That is a great question, Chris. This is something I play tug of war with in my head all the time.
Because I know you can still play.
I definitely do think my body still has some playing at what level it can perform at.
Yeah.
Once they slice you open, you're never the same. You really, your body's never the same.
Here you are on UNC campus.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask for a better apprenticeship.
For sure. And I jump in with the girls still, and I still definitely get my reps in. But
hell yeah,
so at this point in time, right this second, as we speak, what I'm going to tell you is the opportunity would have to be worth it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because I'm in such a good spot.
Yeah.
I love the girls. I love what I do. I do what I love. I am spoiled, like I said, with the resources and the training and the environment that I get. So who knows? It might happen. It might not. I'm open to it. I'm not completely closed off, but I do, want to leave it open just in case.
Relatable answer, I think.
Good answer. We got to get out of here, but I'm going to make a prediction right now, Deej.
Yep.
I want it to be said right now on WCOM live on the air. Are you ready for this? Alex Kimball, our guest tonight. Yep. Beautiful job, by the way. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You ready for this?
Lay on me.
Future coach, Tar Heels women's soccer head coach. I'm calling it right here, folks.
Right.
Here's what's going to happen.
Uh-oh.
It's out. So Anson's going to go 4 or 5 more years.
Yeah.
And then I know the next person's already kind of a coaching lady. Not Dukar, but
Damon.
Damon's going to do like
Nahas.
10 years.
Yeah.
15 years from now, Alex is mainly going to be for the Tar Heels. Maybe bop around a little bit, but you're going to come back in your 40s and 50s, and you're going to lead us back to the national championship. I'm calling it right here.
I like it.
I believe it.
I like it.
We got to get out of here. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, guys.
Let's plug some stuff. So obviously Tar Heel Soccer, goheels.com. Guys, there's not much of a better thing you can do in this town than take your kids to a Tar Heel soccer game.
For sure.
Anything else you want to plug?
Yeah, I mean, we're really trying, again, post-COVID, we're really trying to get really integrated with our community again. Someone was an inspiration to me, so we want our girls to do that for every little kid around them here in the area. So any opportunity, and that's part of my job, is community affairs. So any opportunities we can get our kids involved, we would love that. We also would love to see all these little faces at summer camp. It's one of the coolest spaces that we can interact with these kids. And the best way you can show your love and support is, come to watch them play, come to watch them do what they do. We would love to have you all.
I can vouch. My daughter did a week of UNC soccer camp last year. We're sitting there having the camp. Ants and Dorrance is talking. All these amazing players are leading these girls. And who walks by but Mia Hamm? She just happens to be there.
She comes back a lot.
We could spend a whole nother hour on that, but we do got to go. DJ Simons, anything else on your mind?
No, thanks, Alex. Awesome to meet and talk to you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
We're huge fans. We'll do it again soon. And you said old school hip hop and R&B, so we're going out on Sparky D.
The oldest of
one of the
schools.
original women of hip hop.
Let's hear it.
Here we go, and go Tar Heels, and go Alex.
Go Heels.
Good night.
I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop.
Wanna bite my rhymes like a crocodile. Put your soft inside like a crocodile. Girls, you thought I was over, but I'm back to rock. You wanna know why? I can't stop. What I can't stop? You might ask. Dusting off ducks who can't pass my test. They fast. Guess who's best? Better take a bite off, girls, and rest, cause I'm here. Going straight to the top. When it comes to watching you, I can't stop. When I hear a cold drum beat, it's time to compete at a dope bass and the picture's complete. Me rhyming and where's cold cutting? What these other girls doing? Cold nothing but a button. Into each other's business. House me, come on, what is this? Are you stupid, dumb, or insane? Yo, whiz. Tell 'em my name. Funky D. And the name is Jam. So now you know who's who in this world. So what's up, boy? Or girl, Funky D in the place. Flying hard, I'd be a queen of hearts if I was a card. You be a joker, and if this was poker, I'd take all your money and go walk you down. Now you're out for the count. It's 1988, I want the full amount. Wizards on the cut, I'll make you move your feet. Now come on, Spider D, and drop that beat. Just who the freshest, deafest, most precious girl on the mic. I don't like to fight, but sucker girls, I know you like. Keep getting me started. You must be retarded. I'm fresh.